Now, 2 CRPF personnel were killed and 2 others were injured as militants attacked a camp of security forces in Manipur's Bishnupur district in the early hours of Saturday. Now, according to a senior police officer, the militants fired indiscriminately from hilltops at the India Reserve Battalion camp at Narayana in the Moirang police station area. The firing started at around 12:30 in the night and continued for about 2 hours. The deceased have been identified as CRPF Sub-Inspector N. Sarkar and Head Constable Arup Saini. A search operation is underway to find the perpetrators of the attack. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh has strongly condemned. He took to the microblogging website X, formerly known as Twitter, and condemned the assault carried out against the Indian security forces. Biren Singh posted on social media saying such actions demonstrate cowardice against dedicated security personnel. Now, my colleague and Deputy Managing Editor Kartikeya Sharma continues to be with us on the broadcast. Kartikeya, both sides hitting out at each other, statements coming out from various tribal bodies, but the Chief Minister has now strongly condemned. How do we look at what's happening in Manipur so many months after that May episode? Well, let's quickly cut across to Kartikeya. Kartikeya, if you can hear us, how does one look at what's happening in Manipur at the moment?
I would say that there are 2 things here. The first thing is that there is a line which has been drawn in Manipur. And the line that has been drawn in Manipur has divided the entire valley into a Kuki area, and it has divided the valley into a Maiti area. You have very rightly put Kabir. You have very rightly described the situation. You see, there are 3 things which have happened and the 2 things which I think will happen in future. You see, if you look at by the tone and tenor of the Biren Singh's tweet, the Chief Minister, the Biren Singh's tweet is very, very clear. Biren Singh is saying, and I'll read that tweet verbatim, I strongly condemn the assault carried out against the Indian security forces, resulting in the tragic loss of 2 CRPF personnel in Naran Sena area of Bishnupur district. Such actions demonstrate cowardice against dedicated security personnel who work tirelessly day and night to uphold the peace and stability in the state. Their sacrifice will not go in vain. He has tagged Prime Minister of India and Home Minister. Now the 2 things are here. First, such casualty has not taken place. There have been attempts, but the paramilitary force getting hit by the militants and terrorists is a big thing. When terrorists attack CRPF, when the terrorists attack, for say, BSF, when the terrorists attack army in Kashmir, there's a massive hit back which takes place. Because, it's about the morale of the forces. Now, the second thing is, why has Kuki militant, a part of the Kuki militant, attacked the CRPF? It brings into question another issue. Accord has not been ratified now. Sioux Accord was signed when UPA was in power, and it said, well, you can keep your arms inside the lock, and you will have your camps, and we will negotiate further. It means that if those accords are not ratified by the government, everything can be taken away from these so-called Kuki militants. Now the issue is even more complex. Not for the Kuki militants to attack the central forces, it brings into the question, are outsiders operating in Manipur, which is people across the line from Myanmar. The second, the weapons are in circulation. It means that, the weapons have not been destroyed, taken back. It brings that question into place. And secondly, AFSPA. AFSPA can be redeployed in the valley also. So what do you do if the militants of the Kuki groups, the tribal militants, if they attack the CRPF personnel, it will give a big push for the central machinery to go into the internal areas which they were avoiding for some time, that for the things to calm down. But now if that has happened, I think the pushback is going to be stronger. And any militant, any terrorist organization which they think they can get away by killing the Indian security forces are living in fool's paradise. There will be a payback in equal measure, and yes, it will lead to a prolonged conflict on these areas, because this is a grave violation. See, communities fighting with each other is one thing, but if you start attacking the apparatus of the state, Kabir, it becomes a very, very different issue. Then the payback happens.
So basically, essentially, from what we're picking up, major and big questions for not just Biren Singh, but the Home Ministry also to answer. But at the same time, because of the delicate situation, one must tread carefully. One has to come to terms with the fact that this is not going to simmer down anytime soon. Like Karthikeya mentioned, a lot of weapons out there, out there in the open. Of course, most of them and 90% of them, Karthikeya, of course, correct me if I'm wrong, stolen from the India Reserve Battalions.
I would also say, I'll answer it differently. I'll answer this differently. My response to this from a broader perspective is that, at one hand, the elections have taken place in Manipur. The entire activity has been completed. But on the other hand, the reconciliation has not taken place. On the other hand, civil society actors have become even more stringent, polarized. Charges have been traded. The tribal groups are saying that Arambai Tangol has been weaponized by the ruling dispensation. It's the charge by them. Chief Minister, in an interview to a paper, said that Arambai Tangol has nothing to do with any anti-India activity. They are there to support and cherish the Manipuri Maiti identity and protect it. So there are two things at play. One is that the two communities are divided. Secondly, at the heart of it is that a division is being sought. Territorial integrity of Manipur is sacrosanct. Manipur is under tremendous stress because a Nagalim also claims a part of Manipur. Now, if people say that, there has to be a separate area out of Manipur, I think that's a very unfair unfair thing to do to the Maiti community, because Maiti community is at the heart of Manipuri culture. It defines what Manipur stands for. You can't have Manipur without the Maiti Vaishnavite tradition. And it's not as if the Maitis have not converted. You have Pangal Maitis. Those Maitis they follow different religion. So it's a complex society. But then complexity does not mean that, the sovereignty of the country or the territorial integrity of the state can be questioned. So I would say this is a watershed movement. This is how I'm going to define it. It is a watershed movement in this strife that has happened. Yes, communities have fought with each other, but if you start attacking the tools and the instruments of the state, then I think it's a big issue, and it's time Biren Singh takes tough action. Whether it requires, formal integration of the army into intrusive special operations, or whether you have a better unified command, but something needs to be done at a larger scale. This is how I would close my argument, because this is like the old European saying, the Rubicon has been crossed. This is how I'm going to close my argument.
Fair enough. Many thanks, Karthikeya, for joining with us and helping us out with your insightful inputs, pertinent points raised there by Karthikeya over there. Just to apprise the viewers, those of you who are just joining us, 2 CRPF personnel were killed and 2 others injured as Kuki militants attacked a camp of security forces in Manipur's Bishnupur district in the early hours of Saturday.
In the CRPF, we have been posted about
You see, it happened in the night. English, Hindi, kya?
English.
It happened in the night at about 12:50 hours, and the militants came towards the camp, and then they fired on the camp. Blast was also there. The almost storm kind of thing was taking place, so it was quite dark. Forces retaliated, but before the retaliation, at least they fired on the camp inmates. The 4 personnel got serious injuries, out of which 2 have succumbed to their injuries. This is a very ghastly and very bad kind of retaliation done against the forces. Till now, these kind of actions were not, because forces have come from far-flung areas to maintain peace in this part of the country, where
अमर रहे अमर रहे शहीद सरकार अमर रहे अमर रहे
this kind of ghastly act they have done, and we will find it out. Investigation will definitely be done with very serious earnest, and we will take all action against them. From today onwards only, we have directed all the forces. Here the IJR East, South is there, then Corps Commander, the GOC is there, DG is there. We just held a small meeting here, and we are making a plan on day-to-day working out of the things, like combing operation in the whole areas, and during the investigation we will find out who has done it, and we will not spare them. We will not spare them. We will bring them to the court of law, and all whatever they have done, they will have to pay for it as per law of the land.
So which group you suspect, sir? Which group?
That is at the very nascent stage of the investigation. I can't exactly say, but you can very well anticipate and understand whatever group in that area is active. I don't need to repeat the names. You all know which kind of group is active in that area.
Sir, do you suspect it as intelligence panel, sir? Do you tell me as an intelligence?
No, you see, question. Intelligence is a very broad subject. Intelligence failure can be attributed at any drop of the hat. It's not. We were expecting that they are going to attack any of the forces, and this is the first time that they have attacked the forces. Because in the forces, they were none of the militants of Meiteis or Kukis. They were not attacking the forces, because forces have come to maintain peace, and that is how we are in the middle of both the communities, so that at least whenever there is a problem, seeing the central forces and even both the sides, they call these kind of forces CRP, BSF and Army, Assam Rifle neutral forces. They themselves say neutral forces. So if they are neutral forces, why are you attacking the neutral forces? Whoever has done it, they will have to pay a very heavy price of this, and we will take all steps, and we will put all agencies and find it out who has done it, and he will be booked as per the law of the land.
Any recovery in the operation there?
Recovery?
Any recovery or areas in the operation?
Since morning, so
No, operation is going on. It won't be proper for me to divulge the way we are conducting the operation and the way we are investigating.
what is the motive of the attack, sir? What do you suspect?
There are so many things which come to mind. Like earlier also you might have seen that now groups are attacking the national infrastructure, like the road, like the tower line. Now as a guesswork it goes that they are attacking central forces. How can that go? It cannot be tolerated. All things will be put against them to find it out. Kaise ho raha hai, kyun ho raha hai, and we will take it out.
Sir, knowing the fact Kuki was involved, Kuki militant was involved, but how the authorities are being silent on this issue? And
What?
Kuki
How?
militants were involved, but the officers are not in the position to name a charge.
Name of what?
No, the Kuki militants. Why so?
No, who is saying? Who is saying?
The
Who?
whole village is not, whoever knows about that, because that area is not known to the public, the Meitei group. Because the had a post being posted out.
No. Who is not saying? Whoever is not saying, go and ask him. Why are you asking me that who they are maintaining or not? No, security advisor does not mean that I tell on the name of others that why they are not naming.
Okay.
It is their problem whether they are naming or not. You go and ask them. Whatever I had to say, I have said. Whoever is not saying, you go and ask them.
Isn't it the right time for the security forces to react to those militants?
That's what I was saying. That's what I am saying with my all honest. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Masukin na yan. Focus na gusto niya. Sige, tali ko buong niya.
Thank you.